I love those guys.
Wow. Yeah, they like good money, easy money. And
we're live. Look at that.
We're live.
Just like that. We're live. Welcome to episode 154
nice.
of Ripping the Rack podcast. This is a special edition. This is our last one of 2024. It's a Christmas edition. We have a special guest on. We've got Mollie's dad.
He's pretty special.
All shit's going to fly tonight. Everything's going.
We put an end to that one.
Yeah.
Shane heard that one.
So, sorry, Shane. We got Mollie and Shane's dad. So we'll start with, let's see. He is not south of us tonight. He is slightly north still. He is the king of the north, Calvin Locke. How are you, bud?
Oh, fantastic. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody.
Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa to you.
Sure.
That.
Uh-huh. And we have the Coastal Crusader, Mr. Brian Athern. Brian, how you doing?
It's been a day, Tim, but I'm here. And, yeah.
Do you have heat?
I do.
Okay.
I do have heat now.
You did not have heat?
I woke up this morning and the house was at 63 degrees. And then by the time...
Sounds pretty warm to me.
Well, yeah, okay. I don't even know what that is in Celsius, but by the time that the text showed up, it had gotten down to like 57. I was starting to get a little worried.
Yeah, it's chilly.
So, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask already. And, well, I'm glad you got heat, Brian. Glad you joined us. That's good. You gave yourself a good Christmas present of heat, so that's great. And we have a musical guest tonight. Did you bring your guitar?
It's on the wall.
Yeah. You're going to serenade us at some point tonight?
You let me know when.
Okay.
Probably not,
right.
but you let me know when.
Hanukkah song.
So much Hanukkah.
Celebrate Hanukkah. So, yeah, we got Mike MacIntosh. He's joining us tonight. Mac, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Sorry about the last couple of weeks. I feel like every Sunday I tell you that I'm going to be here Monday, and then Monday at 8 o'clock I tell you I'm nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
well,
it's okay.
Good to be
Just
here.
Not dependable.
No.
One more week, we would have done a wellness check.
Yeah. No, but I've had several conversations about this, the topics that we went over the last time, and people seem to be a little fired up about it. So happy to be back and to chat about it again.
Oh yeah,
I
think this is going to be a good one. It's going to be a good show tonight. And Mark 63 is actually cold. So my house is set at 69 all year long.
Oh, lost them.
And we lost Mac.
He probably tried to change his name again and hit the button.
I bet he'll be back.
Oh yeah.
Nope, just like that. And he's back.
Stop pushing buttons, bud.
No,
That's what we do best here.
I made the decision a long time ago that I refuse to be uncomfortable in my own house. So I will pay for I'll pay the extra couple of gallons to keep the house warm.
Mm-hmm.
And my blood's thinning because I'm old. So
that's what I noticed. I used to wear shorts in January, and now I'm like, that was dumb.
That was dumb.
Yeah, not too bright.
Yep. So, bowling.
Yay.
Bowling.
Bowling.
Calvin, what's going on up in Canadian land?
Nothing. Christmas break.
So just like that, we're back to nothing?
Yeah, it's like that. We had one good weekend, couple good weekends, and that was it.
But hey, the 560 is coming up in a couple months. So
560 is coming up in a couple months. From what I hear, there are going to be a few dropouts. So I don't know how many teams we're going to have. So if you would like to put in a team to the 560, contact Dave Warren. You will use a sheet. If you want to sign up into the group, Fairlane's 5-6 Super Bowl 560, I think is what it's called. There's a average sheet that he has based on everybody's strings bowled at Fairlane's and or in the 560 tournament itself. you have to have 27 strings on the sheet. The 560 average takes precedence. So if you have 27 strings in the 560 and you have like 42 strings bowled at fair lanes, you only take your 560 average, not your combined average. But if you don't have 27 strings bowled in the 560, you take your fair lanes average. If you do not have a fair lanes average on the sheet, you take your high league average of last year.
That's a lot of.
Did everybody comprehend?
2 plus 2 is Jello.
Right. Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It is Super Bowl weekend, so it's easy to remember. As long as you know when Super Bowl is, that's when it is. Great time. There's usually 30 to 36 teams. We usually fill up the whole fair lanes for the weekend. Starts Friday at 1 p.m. So the Friday of Super Bowl weekend. I don't need to tell you the dates. You can just figure it out for yourself. So Friday of the Super Bowl. Start at 1 p.m. You bowl 3 matches on Friday, 3 3-string matches, 4 matches on Saturday, and 2 matches, then playoffs on Sunday. Depending on how many teams, depends on how many teams in each division and how many divisions we have.
What times it get over on Sunday?
Just before the Super Bowl. You have basically, when it's over, you have enough time to either go get food or go and shower. And then you'd basically get there by kickoff. You'd miss probably the national anthems and you'd get there by kickoff. So that's usually what I do is I usually stick around. I watch the finals. I go home. I grab a quick shower. And then we usually go. There's like 3 or 4 bars that bowlers are either a part of or own. And they usually throw a big like party for the bowlers, and there's pizza and they have prizes there because he collects them throughout the year, like hats and stuff from like the cases of beer. You know, if he gets any promo stuff, he collects a lot of that stuff, and he has pizza. It's all free. He basically just wants you to buy alcohol. So buy alcohol there, and he's got free pizza and everything. There's a big screen set up. He's got 7 or 8 TVs with a big screen. So there's lots of stuff. So it's a real fun weekend, and it ends usually with a bang. So you get to watch the Super Bowl and, you know, hang out with everybody and watch it together, whatever you got to do. So if you want to sign up, Super Bowl weekend, it's a lot of bowling in one weekend, but it's a lot of fun. So it's worth it.
It really is. I've been going to that tournament since 2011. And the first year I went, I was the only American in the building. So it's nice to see a lot of teams coming up from the States now. Yeah,
it is. There's, I think, 5 or 6 teams from the States. There's usually 5 or 6 teams from Nova Scotia, maybe 7. And then they're all spread out between Dieppe and Moncton and St. John and Fredericton. So
I have bowled in it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
And it's the biggest tournament in Candlepin. So,
but don't make the mistake when Tim went with me, we only took 5.
Yeah. It's a lot of bowling for 5
Tim's
people.
fingy hurt on Saturday night.
Calvin hurt or
no. Tim went to throw a spare fill on, I think, the 10th box of the first string of the last match on Saturday and literally blew the top of his finger off because the blister just let go.
Nice. Yeah, that usually happens to me at least once.
It hurt.
Yeah, I think we lost Mac again.
I feel like we lost Mac again.
Yeah.
Well, he's buffering. You see the circle spinning?
Yeah, he's a buffer, and
he's got some Netflix buffering going on.
He's watching too much. He's got too many porn tabs open.
No, this is what you guys are going to see when the Christmas Day game. You're going to see like drop back to pass.
He'll be back shortly.
Yeah. No, that'll be the first Raw in January.
Oh God.
Oh man, is that ever stacked? Holy crap! That's like a pay-per-view. It's crazy how many matches are going to be on that show. And John Cena coming back. Holy God, that show is going to be
good time. I can't wait.
It's John Cena.
Where? I can't see him.
You can't see him. Yeah, yeah, so that's Canada basically.
Okay.
The 580 is coming up in New Glasgow. That's last weekend in January, I think. I can't remember the dates now. Sign up with Heather Lanes or Laura. Can't think of her name right now. Lori. Yes, Lori. So she. What's going on, Mac?
A disaster.
Welcome to the
Disaster.
show. Laurel.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Ian.
Computer
Laurel.
just died.
Sign up with Laurel. I don't know how many teams they got or if they are looking for teams, but yeah, that's coming up soon. So that's Canada.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we don't do bowling in Canada. It's not as much fun.
I threw it away.
I got it
right here.
Real quick, that Super Bowl weekend's a little tough. I mean, I was asked and I thought about it, and I'm on the fence because it's tax season for me anyways. But being Super Bowl, that kind of was just that extra straw. Was like, yeah, because I'd probably be driving home Sunday night. You know what I mean?
No.
Staying that extra day from Monday.
Mac, I've done that. It's awful.
No.
Tim and I did that.
It would be awful, but it'd be even more awful to miss the Super Bowl driving home. So,
well, exactly. That's why you stay and you enjoy the party and you have the fun.
I know. I'd like to stay that long.
It's fun. If I truly got back into bowling, I'd think about doing it again. And I went up to watch one year and bowled. Thanks, Brian.
You're the one that said you had your stuff with you.
Tim, yeah. You're back into bowling.
We'll see.
You bowl the Worlds, you bowl all these tournaments, you bowl in 9-pin tournaments. You're back.
I bowled a 9-pin. I know. I got the result. I got the.
That's right. We had our guesses and everything.
We did.
So, real quickly. So the 9-pin, Justin Waters went like 1900. I don't know.
He went ape shit.
He went ape shit like Justin Waters does. Basically, he did Justin Water things. Like it just. He reminds me of. Me, only taller and better when I was younger.
More hair.
Everything's the same. Almost identical.
Yeah. Almost identical. Yeah. So I did go 680 something. I can't remember, 686 or something like that. Calvin, you said I was going to do 652. So
I win though.
No, you don't.
Who was
I
close?
do. I said I was going to go 669.
Nah, bullshit.
My high was a 160. Calvin, you went over. You said 164.
I was still the closest.
I sucked. It was awful. Oh my god!
You only lost by like 300 pins.
I mean, if I had thrown a 370, I think I would have beat Waters in that last stream.
Like, endless 10th.
I had a chance.
You would have been so good at 7-pin.
I would have been awesome at 7-pin. No, it was fun.
You throw the set back a lot?
No, I hit the head pin the first string through a 160 and then proceeded to hit the head pin twice in 2 strings the next 2. So kind of tough. And then when I did hit the head pin after that, it was a lot of splits. So it's okay. I had fun. I bowled, donated my money. I made it through 5 strings. Didn't break, which was good. I didn't swear. I didn't throw a ball. I didn't kick a ball return. I didn't punch anyone. I consider it a success.
Nice.
You got the cash list there?
No, I couldn't find it.
Oh,
I was trying to find it, but no one sent it to me, and I got buried in Candlepin chat, and I just don't want to spend the time to find it. So we have what else have we got? We have any other tournaments other than that?
Nico sent your results. They're on the bottom of our post that you made this morning about having the show. He actually,
I know, but if I go back into that, then I lose everything I have saved. So
you really are a boomer when it comes to electronics, aren't you?
No. It's Facebook. You can't have 2 different. Like I can't go between mine and our Ripping the Rack page without losing every tab you have open. So I have I got like 8 tabs open.
You can open a separate Chrome window and log into the other one and have 2 up.
Nope. That's what I did the last time and I lost it. Nico, don't make me ban you. I will. I will ban you.
I found it.
Ban hammer's coming out already?
Ban hammer.
I found it.
Yeah, see? Thank you, Calvin.
9 pin. Justin Waters, 878. Josh Daly, 836. Aaron Fontaine, 804 or 814. Tim Douglas, not you, Tim. Other Tim. Good Tim. 804. Nick Leach, 798. Nick Norcross, 793. Jimbo, 783. Some loser, 766. Some washed up guy, 764.
Wait, who's the loser first? I gotta know.
Some guy who throws hard, 761.
His last name rhymes with Tourette.
some
Yeah.
short guy had 756.
Wasn't me.
Freshy.
Eric's daddy had 746. Some double-lettered dude had 745, and some handicapped guy had 734.
Jesus.
Brian, can you go into the rip
Talk
and the
about
rack?
Bull Bear like that.
It wasn't Bull Bear. It was. Oh no, it wasn't.
Nico, Brian's gonna get that for us.
That's funny. There was a big bunch up near the bottom.
That was
a fun day though.
It was. I will most likely do that again next year. That was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, I'm planning on putting one together again at Moncton because easily we could get 40, 50 teams, but I just got to figure out when I'm going to do it.
So the first thing that Nico sent us was the results for the mixed up graduates put on a thrilling performance in a 14-point match at the Bolorama in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
I had that, by the way, because Paul Grant sent that, so I will now take that off my list. Thank you.
No problem. Dylan's Angels edged out mixed up. Wow. Despite a Max Levesque startling 153 first. You can watch it on Candlepin Bowling Network on YouTube. It's free to subscribe. And $600 was raised for Candlepin for Cancer.
Nice.
That's the first one. And then there was another one. There's 3, actually. Oh, that was the Justin Waters winning, so we can
cross that off.
Cross that one off. And the last one that was on here. Online registration is up. Candlepins for Cancer's open roll-offs are coming to Riverwalk Lanes in Amesbury, Massachusetts this January. This is for any scratch bowler. Please register at candlepinsforcancer.com. Walk-ins are allowed. The qualifying rounds, they are 5 strings. Wednesday, January 15th at 3 and 6. Saturday, January 18th at 1 and 4. Sunday, January 19th at 1 and 4. Wednesday, January 22nd at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. Saturday, January 25th at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. and Sunday, January 26th at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. $80 entry fee, $65 to the prize fund. Re-entry fee is $50 and $35 to the prize fund. Top 5 show at Riverwalk Lanes is Saturday, February 8th at 10 a.m.
Nice. I can take that out because I had that Paul Grant had sent as well, so I can remove that one.
Go team, we're cruising along.
Go
you
team.
You have the Chicha on there?
Oh yeah, we
I mean, there's been results, but
yeah, we got 4 of the groups done. There's 7 groups altogether.
If someone has it, then let's bring it up. And by the way, if anyone has caught Cheech live on Tuesday night, the last couple of Tuesday nights,
I have not.
It's just all over the place.
It was great. It was fantastic. Like it doesn't matter. It's not just about bowling. Like he talked about one of the greatest flight simulator stories I've ever heard.
He's
I never knew you had to actually purchase fuel for the flight simulator.
Dude, it's an immersive simulation.
He did a flight from, I forgot where it was, maybe LAX to Hawaii, and it's like 5.5 hour flight, and it's literally the entire flight that you sit there. And he ran out of fuel.
He crashed.
He crashed right before He killed all of his people.
How many souls on board?
I don't know how many souls on board, but
imagine if you were in a flight
Oh my
simulator,
God.
but you were actually simulating a real plane and you didn't know it. It was just one of those like mysteries that go like this plane just goes down.
That sounds like a nightmare I've had before.
Yeah, you just hear it on the news. You're like, oh, this plane went down in the South Pacific. And you're like, what? Like they ran out of fuel. What?
What? Yeah, it was. It was interesting. I never had. I had no idea. Like you literally have to go in like, and it's in like kilos. You have to order the right amount of kilos. And I'm like, wait, of Coke? And he's like, no, of fuel. It's pretty impressive. So check out Cheech goes live on his Facebook. I think it's going to be every other Tuesday. So to kind of, we'll have 1 week and he'll do the next week type thing. So it's pretty neat. You should check it out. I did find a couple of things that I was trying to find. We got
I got the Cheecher results.
Oh, okay, let's talk about that.
Cheecher round 1 results. Group 1 advanced. Josh Daly and Nick Nocross eliminated. Corey Packard and Jordan Britton. Josh and Nick advanced with 615 and 607 respectively. Group 2 advanced. Our illustrious guest, Mr. MacIntosh, 659. Mike Salona, 586.
Hey, congratulations on your new high five, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks. Yep, 44 years in the making.
Troy Fournier and Nate Lees were eliminated. Group 3, Joey Lister and Nick Leach advanced with a 575 and 569. And eliminated was Pete Rischtelli. Hope I got that right.
Rischtelli. Yeah.
Rischtelli and Ryan Southall. They were eliminated. And in Group 7, Scott Douglas advanced with a 566. Justin Waters advanced with a 563 in overtime against Corey Alisi in a 132-104 roll-off. So Corey Alisi was eliminated, and Justin Lyonnaise was eliminated as well. Your current wild card leaders, I believe that's wild card, is Corey Packard and Troy Fournier.
So that, that was your one chance to get Waters out of this tournament right there.
Buddy, I love Justin. I was driving home, right? And when I saw he tied, I drove into a tree because I was just like, yeah, just move along, Justin, just do your next tournament. But look at that, 566, and then second was a tie with 563 with both guys. I mean, that was down to the last box for those all three of them.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun to watch.
Do we have where that was by some chance?
It's all Exeter.
Oh, the first round's at, okay.
First round's at Exeter. And Corey texted me in a panic because he finished third, but he's the leader in the wild card by 1 right now. And he was he just wanted to make sure that he's got a shot to move on still. So he's looking okay, though. I think we got three groups left, and 581's a pretty good third place score.
That's I tell you what, Exeter, I love bowling at Exeter. I love the house. Rob does a phenomenal job. I bowl for shit in that house. For a place that I love to bowl, I just don't bowl well there.
It's going to sound really like just I'm making an excuse there, but I can't get past the fact the score table bumps my ass when I stand there to bowl. Now I've moved up. I've taken a step out. I've gone to a 3-step, so it might not bother me anymore. But,
buddy, I think you're 100% right. I think that place, especially if you don't bowl there a lot, it's one of those you don't have a lot of room, so you feel claustrophobic a little bit. The lanes in your visual, everything appears narrow. It just feels like a small, tiny bowling approach. And then the lanes are just different. You don't have a lot of those classic wooden lanes anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a combination of everything. It's hard to get comfortable.
You feel like you're rushing the line because the approach seems shorter. But I think the other thing is in Maine, we don't have a lot of offset ball returns other than Big 20.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, And it's funny. So where I stand, and I always swing my arm when I start, like I know I swing it to start and I'm ready to go. I can't do it on the odd number lanes because I swing my arm and I hit because I'm right there. Mm-hmm. So I have to talk myself into just like drop down and come back up, or come out to the side and come back. Something to it's just, and it's all in my head. We all know that. Bowling is 95% up here.
Yeah, but like Brian said, when you're sitting on a score table, some people do. If anyone who stands at the back of their approach at their home lanes is gonna have to adjust.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're actually gonna be sitting on the table. You know.
Yeah.
But I love the house, and again,
Yeah,
Rob.
that's the best.
Yeah.
He asked me the other day, invited me to do. I guess New Hampshire Chronicle and Channel 9 is doing a special on Exeter, and he invited me to come be interviewed on the show. So we're gonna do that.
Cool.
We're gonna do that in January sometime. Yeah, we'll have to get together and see what they're gonna talk about. But yeah, excited about that.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
Yeah, it's really
That's pretty cool. So where's the next round?
Central
I've never bowled there.
Central Park, East Boston. Yeah,
Okay.
and there's
So,
new
yeah,
groups redraw.
I was gonna say no advantage for Waters there.
Yeah, I know, right? Him and Leach bowl there. A few of them, I think, get down.
Oh,
there.
is that where Waters bowls out of? Is Central?
Fridays.
Fridays.
Friday night.
Fridays,
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no advantage there. I don't know. Cool tournament. I wish we had, Brian and I have had this conversation. I don't know how many times about how we both wish we lived closer to that area down there. Even Portsmouth, Portsmouth would put us within a reasonable driving distance to anywhere.
Well, it'd be what we do now. We drive an hour to get to Augusta to bowl league.
Yeah. I mean, Portsmouth to Exeter is about 15 minutes. You know what I mean? But the rest of you can probably get almost everywhere else in an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I think the furthest might be Millis.
Yeah, on Friday.
On a Friday night, on a Friday night pro league.
Yeah.
Maybe Hingham.
Well, I guess it depends where you're coming from.
Depends on the traffic. Well, everything depends on the traffic down there. But
if you live in Jimbo Land, you're driving 2.5 hours to a lot of places.
Yeah, Jimbo lives out there a little bit.
You got closer too.
Yeah, he did. So a couple of things here before we get into our world's conversation. We've got tournament here just announced today. Boutwell's Bowling Center is hosting the Boutwell's Classic. Any doubles handicap tourney to benefit Candlepins for Cancer. Handicap is 95 of 130 with a 240 cap. $70 per bowler, $1,000 top prize based off 40 teams. Finals broadcasted on Candlepin Bowling Network and announced by Paul Grant. Sign-ups are open, effective now. If you have any questions, reach out to Scott Perry through instant message, or you can call Boutwell's in Concord. So there is that. We've got Charlie Collins. Charlie and Hunter are, again, they're hosting a charity tournament for their dad. Father is fighting brain cancer. So charity tournament on March 30th at 9 a.m. In Millis at Ryan's Family Amusement Center, or Family Amusement. And that's going to be $60, $20 to the alley, $20 to the prize fund, and $20 to the charity. It's a 9-pin, 5-string tournament, 100% handicap. Let's see. So for more information there, averages will be determined by March 1st, minimum 30 strings, 2 shifts, 9 a.m. and 12. More information, find out on Candlepin chat or reach out to Charlie or Hunter. And they've got some side pools and other stuff going on. Again,
I
really
signed
good.
up.
Did you?
Yep, for the noon shift.
Nice.
So if you want to go, Tim, sign up.
Okay, I'll let you know. I can't remember. We're doing something around that. I just can't remember if it's that weekend or...
Just throwing it out there for you.
I know. I appreciate it. And it's a 9-pin, and we know I can bowl a 9-pin.
I can't miss a single. I'm okay.
And if you get an 8-pin drop, you can chop one.
Oh, chop one. I'm going to chop every one of them just like normal.
No, you probably do what I did. Just
miss both of them.
Fuck yes.
Just blow my head.
God, it was so bad. Like, I couldn't even get mad. That's how bad I bowled.
Were there lots of hurries?
Oh, there was lots of. Oh no.
Well, sometimes when you say "oh no," it helps. You told me.
Oh
that.
no, these were oh no's. Like, oh, stay on the plate. Oh no, it's like I hit the 7-pin dead in the face on the first ball once. That was fun.
Tim,
only 8 left.
Knock 9 down, not 1 down and leave 9.
I was going the other way. Let's see. We've got
the 9-pin break no matter what. So
that's right. We've got the next money match up here in Maine coming up January 5th at 10 a.m. Hold on, system. Come on. And here we go. It is Corrado and Stephen Body take on Jeff LaPierre and Mark Webber. There is a wait list. If you want, reach out to Mark Webber to get on that list. That's January 5th.
If anybody wants to be my partner, just let me know.
Oh, that's right. You had someone back out on you.
Yeah, mine's a fucking bum. And he wants me to bowl worlds.
Does his name rhyme with Maury Kith?
Yeah, and he wants me to bowl worlds with him. That's a good way to start. Yeah, it's a good way to sign me up by dropping out on me. Good job, man. Yeah, Ian, you don't have the money for this. You got 3 kids, bud. You're broke. Don't worry about this. You're not bowling in it.
Couple of so obviously we have the Rip in the Rack 1710 State of Maine Augusta 560, the NASCAR race. That's coming up at the end of April. More information at the beginning of the year will come out on that one. We have another tournament, the big tournament in August, the International Mixed Doubles. I want to say this is got to be coming up on the 15th or 20th year of this.
I think the first one was in 2011 or 12.
Okay, so 13, 14 years.
Yep.
That is August 16th and 17th in Augusta. 36 team max, $240 a team, $100 deposit per team to hold the spot. Deposit is refundable until July 19th. After that, you are locked in. And again, this is a mixed doubles, folks. That's a male, female. We are assuming
a partner for that too. If anybody wants.
Sorry, we are assuming gender when we say male and female. So, want to throw that out there.
You either got a P or a G. Pick one.
Yes. There may be some surprise entrance into that. Who knows? We'll see.
You're not a surprise anymore. You're no longer retired, Brett Favre.
I am retired. I have not officially come out of retirement yet.
Nah, you're a loser.
You retire more times than Ric Flair.
No, nobody retires more than that guy.
So that's coming up. What else? We missing anything? 9-pin no tap best box, 230 cap in Augusta, Saturday, January 18th, 4:00 start, $160 a team. Is that? And I think that's it.
I do know Mark Ritchie's running his New Year's Day tournament at Riverwalk that he normally runs as well.
Okay.
So that's on Candlepin chat.
Is that best 5 of 7?
Yes, the best 5 of 7 New Year's Day.
Nice.
If anyone hasn't gone up to Riverwalk, you got to go. That's a great time to try it out.
I have not been there. That's one of like the 3 I don't think I've ever bowled at.
It's historic. Absolutely. And Mark's done such a good job with keeping it going. There was a chance it was just going to be gone after the Quins had to sell it. And then, the Ricci stepped in. So happy they're still running the ship.
Yeah. Tim, are you getting squirrel moments or what?
Sorry. My better half, my much better half sent me a message, and sometimes when I send him, I'm either in trouble or it's something funny, and so I was like, I better read it. And it was funny. So.
Sure, it wasn't trouble.
Nope, I wasn't in trouble this one. So let's see. Okay, the only question that I have is no, it was not a spicy message. I can tell you that right now. Definitely was not that. What was the bet? Do I need to know?
Huh?
What? Oh, no. It was just the Jaylen Brown.
Oh,
that one.
Brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. No.
It's a good start then.
Oh, I thought you were.
See, Calvin messages the group and gives me a squirrel moment.
No, I messaged that like 20 minutes ago, man. You're way behind the times.
Now I was trying to be good.
Sure you were.
Trying. So we've got
still some conversation.
Yeah. So it is Festivus. So this is the airing of grievances.
Oh, I like it.
So Brian, do you have a grinding of gears? We haven't had a grinding of gears from Brian.
We got to get him grinded up, though.
After today, I don't really. I don't have the energy to be mad anymore.
No, that's boring.
Well, actually, I did take the little guy to get a Happy Meal today. And when you're trying to observe the rules of the road, Tim, you know the McDonald's in Thomaston, right? That's attached to the Noria.
Oh, that sucks ballsack because it's the worst parking lot in the history of parking lots.
Okay, so the drive-through line comes out right where you pull into the.
Interrupt you really quick because you said the drive-through, and in classic Joe Pesci, they fuck you in the drive-through.
Oh, good Lord.
That's not even what I'm getting to.
Okay.
So, you know, like I'm doing my Good Samaritan deed, and the line is very long, so I don't want to block the entrance to the gas station. So I'm back by the gas pumps, just waiting for my next turn in line. And it starts moving, and then all of a sudden, this little old lady in a Santa hat comes screaming in and cuts me off. And she happened to have a vanity plate, and it was of a popular Wicked movie that's out right now. And so I calmly and nicely, as she pulled up to order her food, she rolled her window down, I rolled mine down, and I said, I hope your sister gets hit by a house. So that was the grinding of my gears.
Oh, Brian.
Trying to do the right thing and not block traffic.
And see,
Mark. Yes, Mark.
Yes. Murica. It is the stupidest parking lot, gas station, McDonald's.
Can I just go on record as saying any chain that's attached to the gas station is immediately a lower tier than what it's supposed to be? Like the McDonald's in them are worse. The Dunkin's in them are worse. Have you noticed the Tim Hortons and the Irvings up there are worse than just a normal Tim Hortons?
Because they don't have the business enough to have the
A team.
Well, not the A team, but the product. Because they don't have the order enough, right? So you just get the back end of the stuff. Yeah, it's not as good.
Yeah, it's terrible. So anyway,
it's terrible. It's terrible.
Where did we? What was the? I don't remember the final thought we left off with the men's words.
We were talking about. One of us had brought up the qualification number of strings. I think that's where we ended. Like, if you're going to carry so many people, maybe you should have a strings bold to qualify for playoffs rule in there.
Yep, that's what. Yeah, you brought that up. That was a good idea.
So is that for the bowler to qualify to bowl in the playoffs, or is that for the team to qualify?
No, just the bowler.
Okay.
So like you can't. So like
Mac I think wants to go with the team. Everybody in the team has to bowl a certain amount, a minimum.
Oh gosh, no, just the bowler.
Well, that would be I mean, it would be kind of in conjunction with changing the number of people on the team, but yeah. Either way, the change is good. You know what I mean? Either one of those I'd be happy with.
I mean, I just see people put guys on their rosters and they only show up. Now, I understand if you work. I get that. But, like, if you only show up Friday and you bowl 4 strings and then you come out and average 135 in the playoffs, you're fresh. You're fresher than everybody else. Is that a strategy? Well, of course it is, but
it's only
it is right now.
Only beneficial to like the home teams, really. I mean, not that anybody wouldn't, but you're not going to have somebody drive from Nova Scotia just to bowl on the Friday night and then drive back Saturday, right? Like, they're not going to do that. Some of them might if they're crazy, but you're driving, 14 hours in 2 days. What for what? Like, right? I kind of get it, but if you end up winning, it is very beneficial because you only spent like $200 in a hotel, but you made 10,000 or whatever, handed out between the guys, but still. So I don't know. Because I was gonna say that too, is just the example that I would have would be Jonathan Boudreau, who did that,
right?
Because he has to work as a teacher, so then he only showed up like Thursday or Friday and then bowled with them in the playoffs, and it's like, wow, that's kind of
this year.
No, it was like 2 years ago. When he was first becoming a teacher.
I could see how this could become a let's just call it what it would be, a pissing match of captains meetings, but you could have a grievance about that or before the tournament. Like, hey, this guy literally can't get off work. He is a full-time bowler on our team. But I mean, I can just see where people are going to maybe, I like try to look at the good side of people, but that might get abused.
Yeah.
So Mac, you had a mindset of limiting kind of the number of people, correct?
I do think it makes for more competitive teams, and I just like the idea of it being a team. I mean, if you're on the team, you're part of the team. Why it does not have insurance policies? Just tag along with everybody. You know what I mean? Like if you're there, the minimum. I like the minimum amount of strings thing. You know what I mean? I think that just should be part of it. But it's funny. Over the last few weeks, I've kind of switched gears more to the captain spots than I have the number of people on a team. I mean, I still feel that way about the teams and the number of bowlers, but I've kind of more switched towards let's get the right teams in the tournaments. You know, instead of the teams that have just been grandfathered in forever. But either way, let's finish up the topic about the number of bowlers first. I mean, I love Brian's idea. I love the minimum. I'm not sure how else you could do it. I just don't like seeing guys that should be on teams bowling a lot, sitting in the back, just kind of waiting around. If the team stays hot, they just ride with their guys, and these people don't get used. I don't know. Just doesn't feel as much like a world's team as it used to. It feels more like let's just bring all our friends and everybody that we know to the bowling party.
I think it adds something to the strategy of the whole tournament, because now these guys have to bowl a set number of strings. So now you got to look at matches and go, okay, where can we, what are our lineups for these matches so that everybody bowls and we're still ultra competitive? Because we all know we have different lineups when you bowl like Lucky or you bowl, a top tier team versus a team where, let's all face it, we've done it before. You look at a team and you go, we should get 6 or 8. It's not disrespectful. It's just how we all think in that tournament.
Right.
But those are the matches where you go, okay, these are the bench the guys on the bench or who don't start come in and they got to bowl these matches. I also think it helps. And I know I have an issue with this and some other people do. It's hard to bowl with a hook over your head. When you get up there and your captain tells you, hey, you got 2 boxes. Yeah, it doesn't go well 90% of the time.
Right.
So at least this way, you're probably getting a whole string. Because I know for me personally, I can go 0-4 in the back half, throw 4 or 0-4 in the front half, throw 4 in the back half, and I still have a decent string. But you don't get that opportunity if your captain is hook happy. And we've all bowled for hook happy captains.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But then the other thought about that is, so if the name, I understand, you can switch, but could you put the name, like, do they have to bowl a certain number of boxes? Because maybe you just put the name on there. They throw 2 boxes and then you take them out just so that they have a string.
Worm. That's an interesting worm.
I mean, that's a weasel move to get around rules. And I mean, sure, you can do it, but that'd be picked out in 2 seconds and everyone would be like,
you'd
Calvin, we have
if you want to be that
one
captain,
of those, haven't we?
Be that guy, go ahead.
Yes.
But really, like if you only have 8 guys and you're doing that, you're only using 5 or 6 the whole time. You know what I mean? I mean, go ahead, burn you guys out if you want, but yeah, no, that's.
I like the concept of minimum amount of strings to bowl in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Yeah, but let's be real about that. A lot of the guys that we're talking about didn't bowl the playoffs anyways. You know what I mean? So if you want them to be part of the team competing during the week, I would separate whether that makes you qualify for the playoffs or not. I would think.
I want to play devil's advocate for a second, and I'm going to say this: if a person, let's say we set the minimum at 6. 2 matches, 6 strings. Okay. If a person's there all week and they're only bowling 2 matches, and Mac, I think this is probably where you're going with this. Are they really bowling the playoffs? Is that person that bowled 2 matches throughout the entire week really bowling the playoffs?
And that's where the kind of having maybe they bowl the minimum is because then if something were to happen, like if you have an injury or somebody's struggling really bad, or somebody has to go to the hospital and get their finger taken care of, if that's the situation that you run into, then those guys have those minimum strings or they can't go in, and then you're a man short. And what do you do there?
No, that's why I'm okay with the minimum string.
Yeah,
I am. I don't know what the minimum is. I don't know if it's 6 strings, 8 strings, 7, whatever it is.
Brian mentioned 33%, right? 11 strings the last time I think we were talking about.
Yeah, 11 strings would be 33%. It's a third of the tournament.
That seems reasonable. I mean, if you want to bring 10, you're going to have to manage that. But
I think that rule helps you with your rule, Mac. Like, that's going to thin numbers naturally, honestly.
Yeah. Which, you know what I mean? Like, you're effectively doing what the goal is, but it's for good reason. I mean,
yeah.
I know. I just think you're a team. You're a team. So if you want to bring people, they're going to bowl a little bit. Why are we doing this? Just bringing a few people just to hang around, and get beers the whole time.
Mm-hmm. And
then they get paid out. You know what I mean? Then it cuts into payouts. There's all sorts of things that kind of come into that. I mean, it could help with costs, sure, but then they're getting a cut too. So lots of reasons, but mainly is just for the competitiveness of the tournament. I think that if you're going to bring someone in your world's team, they should be in minimum 33%, 25%, whatever it would be voted on, which is a whole nother topic too. But
so here's a thought. What if, and I don't have a concept, I kind of have a concept, but I don't really have a plan in place on something like this. But if you want the best teams for a tournament like this, then what about a qualifying tournament? So you have your previous year's playoff teams. There's 10 teams right there. Your previous year's playoff teams get call it a bye or whatever. They get into the Worlds. So now you have 14 teams, and then you got to figure out Canadian American. Where does it stand? And you could have 2 tournaments. You have a tournament in Canada and a tournament in the United States in March, April, something like that. A weekend where you take the top X tournament. If you've got okay, the American side has six spots available. Okay. So if you get 12 teams, well, you're taking the top 6. Those 6 now are into November.
Those 6 teams or those 6 captains?
And that's where I lose the concept. I want it to be the team.
But then you're trying to ask people to get time off in November and March for something they may not win.
A weekend?
No, I mean, what I'm saying, Tim, is you have to go in that with the understanding that if I win, I need that time off in November. Yep. And some people need to get that off that far in advance.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm trying to figure this out. I personally like the concept. I just don't know if it can be implemented.
I think it's a hard sell to some people.
I mean, I think the alternative to that, I mean, I like the idea of a qualifying tournament because every championship in the world in every sport has some sort of qualifying, right? It's not just like, all right, you're in next year no matter what. The relegation thing, I think we have to explore that. And
I do like the relegation.
I think that should be in any professional scratch tournament that has a waiting list. If there's a waiting list, then we could set boundaries where if teams were to finish, say in the Worlds, there's 12 in a division. If you were to finish in the top or the bottom 2 or the bottom 3 for consecutive years, you know what? Now you're out, but get back in line. The captain can get back. Anyone can get back in line to be a captain again and try to put together a better team for next time. But there's going to be better teams that could submit 7 or 8 guys who are going to be more competitive than the bottom 3 each time.
Mac, that raises another great point. That gets away from your throwaway matches in the last string on Friday. Because those would mean something at that point.
Everything would mean it, right? You'd be fighting for the following year, for sure. You know what I mean? But I mean, this is Worlds, this is mixed Worlds, this is Friday Night Pro League. There are waiting lists for all of these things now, and it seems like, and it's because in the past there weren't waiting lists, so there was a need for this, just to keep them around. But it's changed, and I think it's worth looking at as far as let's keep the cycle going. Let's just make this is the best league, best tournament going on. Let's make it as competitive as we can be. So let's not stand pat and just do what we've done in the past for 20 years and figure something out.
So I love the relegation thought. That is the one thing that I think European soccer does a tremendous job of. Especially if you take a look at if you follow any type of soccer and you follow the Premier League, and you start looking at like Ryan Reynolds and his part, they buy Wrexham, which is the lowest level of, it's like 5 or 6 levels down from the Premier League. And it's professional, but you have relegation on all these leagues and you can get promoted. And they've been promoted like 2 or 3 spots up where I do. And yes, Ian, I definitely am taking that from you. I think it's a great idea.
I think some of the teams that are currently in the tournament, if they knew this was going to be something that's in place, and I'm not just saying show up to the Worlds next year and they're like, okay, after this year, 3 teams are out. No, you got to have chances to make changes to their teams, knowing what the consequences might be, for finishing in the bottom 3. If the committee talked about it and it went to the captains and the captains agreed to it, this is like a 2-year process,
right? Yeah.
Where it's not for this coming November; it's for the following November. That's when it starts.
You probably have to be more than 1 year. A team could have a bad year. I don't know if just having them 1 year. I don't know. Maybe not.
No, he means the 2 years starts not at this Worlds. If we make the change,
right.
The following year,
2 years would start. So it'd really be 3 years, right? It'd be after the 3rd year. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a fantastic idea, and whomever is on the committee needs to really explore this.
Well, I don't know that there's a committee.
There used to be.
I think everything in the Worlds is decided by the captains. So I think you might run into a problem with a few captains in that situation, but you know what I mean? Like that kind of got me going on the different idea of should these tournaments have committees, people that you can trust to make the best decisions
100%, yes.
For the tournament, not leaving it up to the captains that may or may not make some biased choices.
So again, Ian brings up a question: how would this work for Canadian teams? Because it's not a balanced Canada-America anymore. It's not 12 and 12. So are we at the point now where if we're going to do this, maybe we do 2 things? One is we limit the number of people on a team to 8. Call it 8. 8's a good number.
Sure.
And now you get rid of the Canada-America thing, and now it's just it's a free-for-all. Or do you think that would then invite teams to really load up? You're still going to have 4 or 5 teams that are just loaded with your best Canadians and Americans.
Well, if you cut the number of bowlers, I think that's fine. That's what it's supposed to be. But 8 would be good. That would help the Canadian teams, right?
Honestly, if you're going to mix countries, I'd go with 8 on a team, 7 or 8.
I don't think you can mix. I don't think you can mix countries. I think that would be taking too much away from the history of the tournament. But
I thought that's what Tim meant by.
That's what I just said.
Well, I thought you said
the tournament at some point has to change if it's going to survive. And I'm not saying it needs to be a drastic change of mixing teams, but something's got to happen because we know that bowling in Canada, there's not as many teams. There's not as many bowling alleys.
Plus the price to come down to the States.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not many people up there. Calvin will tell that can shoulder that for a week or get a week off.
But what about if you reduce the number of bowlers? That's what I'm asking is, wouldn't that help, Calvin? Wouldn't that, if you had 2 guys from your team that couldn't go with your team next year, aren't they going to form a new team or at least merge with other bowlers who can't go with their 10-person team in Canada as well?
Yeah, that might help. It'd probably create another team, or those 2 guys just aren't going to go because they don't think that they're competitive enough, and then they're wasting a week.
Or they grab 4 other guys. You know what I mean? I don't know, but the hope that would be the optimistic look.
And just a thought.
Yeah.
No, it's all good thoughts.
So I then had this brought up to me that the tournament has been around for 40 years, roughly. give or take. I think, 1985, I think, was the first.
80,
So
85,
the
yeah.
40th is coming up this year.
So this will be the 40th. This will be the 40th tournament. The prize money has been 10 grand for 40 years. 10 grand 30 years ago was a hell of a lot more than 10 grand now. The prize money hasn't increased at all, but the costs have gone up.
I think at this point,
the entry fees have gone up.
The only way you increase the prize money is to not pay the first round if you lose.
Well, you got to remember, they used to only take the top 3. My first 3 years, they took the top 3. Top 5 didn't make the playoffs. It was a 3. So right there, you weren't paying out as much. And then they increased it to the top 5.
What's the entry fee right now?
It varies now.
Yeah,
it's right, depending on where it is, right?
Yeah, because we pay less going there and more here.
But is it $2 grand, 2,500, something like that, or is it? I can't remember, to be honest with you. I haven't been in that meeting in a while.
I don't remember. I haven't been in it for a few years.
I think we pay like 13.
We don't pay as much going up to Canada.
That's if you divvy it up with 10 guys, that's barely anything for a week's tournament. You pay $100 and something for a day tournament. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I was thinking there's 2 things also, is there were a lot more sponsors back then. You know, when Charlie was running it here and Kansas was running it up there, both of them were responsible for getting sponsors. Now, that's granted. I'm not saying that we need one person down here and one person up there going to get sponsors, but why aren't we getting sponsors for this?
It's a great question. I mean, with all the streaming we do now and the popularity of it, I think you're more likely to get sponsors now than ever.
Yeah, because you could even, I don't know that you could on Candlepins for Cancer, because they're like, if you had somebody doing their streaming on TikTok or something and they put a logo up in the top corner and it was always there and it was always like
this match is sponsored by, when it streams, this match is
sponsored by
Yeah.
Dexter. Like,
especially all the stuff.
Anyone ever gone to Dexter? No, I don't know if they'd sponsor
Fuller, talk to Dexter.
Yeah.
I'm just, would the excitement be, and again, look, I still bowl for the win. I've never bowled for the money. The money has always been nice. It's always been a nice to have. But I always bowled for the titles. That's what I bowled for.
Right.
I just want my name on that big ass trophy once.
But if we were able to increase the prize fund, let's say, I'm going to throw a number out. Let's say it went up from 10,000 to the winning team to 20,000 to the winning team. And you were able to go from 5,000 to 10,000 for the second place team. How much more competitive would you get knowing that, okay, I am now bowling for, as a team, we're bowling for 20 grand.
I tell you, my finger wouldn't be hurt.
I mean, these are the things that I think about when I'm on the road in my van.
Down by the river.
Well, are you saying the extra prize funds would draw more top talent bowlers?
I'm not saying it's going to draw more top talent bowlers. What I'm saying is I think you're going to have more competitiveness because you're going to have I don't know the word I'm looking for. I don't have a thesaurus in front of me, so I can't think of the word or a dictionary in front of me. But I feel that if we limited it to 8, let's say it was to 8 people, and you up the prize money, I think you're going to have more competitive balance. I think you're going to have more people actually going out and practice beforehand to get better.
Yeah, knowing they're going to bowl.
Knowing they're going to bowl.
Absolutely.
Knowing that, because let's look, I started when I was 21. Okay. When I found out I was bowling, it was the following year, the year after that, I was throwing 20 to 30 strings a week for 2 months before the Worlds. Because I wanted to be better. I wanted to win. I wanted to prove myself.
Mm-hmm.
If we can increase the prize fund, so basically you take the money up and you really, guys, we are bowling for 20 grand. We're not bowling for 10 grand. And again, 10 grand sounds a lot. 20 grand sounds more. Okay?
You might be right. You might be right, because there might be people now that are just like, well, you know what? If I don't bowl, great. I got 9 other guys that are going to pick me up. I don't have to bowl. I can just kind of sit back. I'm not comfortable. No, I'm with you there. I think the bowlers would be more ready for the tournament.
You might get a lot more foot fouls called and a lot more lobbing called. And
I just bring this up. Why don't we have an official for the Worlds? At least the playoffs. Like, that's always boggled my mind that there's no official.
There should be one for playoffs. There should be one for the finals for sure.
I didn't mean to 100%. Derail us, but man, like, especially for the final match, there's no official.
Yeah,
I'm with you there, buddy. I just want to see what Ian just said about, hell, I'd go pay money not to earn a dime. I just want to get my name on the trophy. There's been a lot of people that have done that.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of irks me. I want. It kind of irks me a little bit. You know what I mean? They just wanted to kind of hang around, just get a name on a trophy, but what they, No.
What I mean? I just want to know that I was a part of a team that won it. Like, the money is great. I'm not saying I don't care about the money. That'd be amazing.
No, Brian, I think he's talking about someone just showing up and not bowling. Like,
I'm just saying riding coattails.
Okay. Yeah, just riding the coattails.
You want to get in the 11 strings? You absolutely earned it, whether you bowl playoffs or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? 11 strings is a good chunk of the points to get to the playoffs. So I'm all for that. Some have bowled one game. Your name's on the trophy.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
I mean? Like, no,
you call yourself a world champion and you bowled a string.
Yeah, you got a jacket, says it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mac, you said you had a couple other ideas.
Well, more so just the relegation of multiple things. I think the mixed worlds is in the same boat, and then our Friday Pro League here, same boat. But I mean, that's really it. It's really, I think you should cycle around. I think there's more people ready to go, but
so
you have the same captains that, they only reach so far. They only know so many people, and they're only comfortable with certain people. So they're you're kind of shunning people out that may make it more competitive.
So what about this? If you wanted to do, so right now you can count on pretty much one hand how many houses can hold this tournament now, right? Realistically, it's Academy, Lita, Boatwells.
I think, you can add Boatwells to the list. Yeah.
Okay. Bangor, only they won't have it. They got to make some changes first, fix some things. Okay, and then Fairlanes and Moncton. I mean, we talked there's a couple of places, but
there's like 5 in Nova Scotia, but they won't go to any of them except for Fairlanes because it's close to the casino.
Right, because there's got to have something to do.
Yeah,
something, which I guess doesn't really matter when we're not getting out of there until 8 or 9 o'clock at night anyway. So
Kingswood, if the weather's good, you can go golf around after you're done.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I'd love to play that course. It looks beautiful.
Are you talking about the mixed? Are you talking about the mixed for 20 teams or the Worlds for 24 teams?
I'm talking about the Worlds for 20 teams.
Oh, the Worlds for you're talking about cutting it down too.
I'm talking about cutting it down to 20 teams. That's going to bring in more houses that you could bowl in.
I guarantee if we cut it down to 20 teams, then you could definitely you cut your bottom teams and you could do it that way. 24, I think we're still stretching it because you got to think that's still 32 bowlers that are not in that tournament, and there's some. But if you cut it down to 20, you could absolutely do a roll off every year. Bottom 4 teams have to bowl back in. You'd have a lot more switching teams. You'd make it crazy competitive if you cut it down to 20 teams for sure.
I think 20 would be fine. Again, I think it's like you said. You probably have the relegate. If you did relegation with 20, you'd be cutting out some pretty decent teams. But I'd say, so what? If there's captains that are ready to go back in and pull a team together, I think they should get a fair shot. If there's teams consistently finishing near the bottom.
So you'd have to change the format.
Yeah, might be able to be done by Friday night.
Yeah, you'd have to figure something out, format wise. I don't know. I just.
Well, if you go to 20, you only take the top 3. You go back to that, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Top 4. I would top 4.
Top four. Yeah.
You could do top 4.
Yeah, it's almost the same percentage.
Yeah. Maybe up the increase the entry fee a little bit. That way you're still covering costs, but you can have the prize fund, and you got to get some sponsors. I mean,
the part we run into though, and this is something that we've talked about before, but cutting the teams down may make it less attractive for some alleys to host it because they're losing that many more people at the bar eating food.
Yeah, but that would only be the alleys that have more than 20 lanes, right? I mean, you're talking about a couple of them.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Lita and Boutwell's, right? And Academy.
And they could still host.
They could still host.
No, they can still host, but like you're just saying that there'll be less teams, right? Less revenue.
Yeah, but at the end of the God, we're gonna have to have a part 3 because I'm coming up on all these things. Now we're looking at the whole ball for ball shit and everything else. Like I had a couple of people come up to me at the 9-pin tournament, and they said, I heard what you said about ball for ball, and I tried it. He goes, not in a team, but in a singles. I just stopped worrying about what the other one did, and my score went up. I don't know how many pins they said. He goes, and both of them said, I will not go back to ball for ball if I'm bowling singles anymore. There's a win. That's good.
Rhythm is real.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's a thing.
So now we just got to get the worlds and the mixed worlds on that same page.
I had a point for that, but we'll wait till next time because I'm tired and it's later, and we can have a part.
My one point I make with that is I am okay with bowler on the right throwing the first ball.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Bowler on the right throws the first ball and the first ball only. After that, you go at your own pace.
That's it. You just go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You just go, and people in those tournaments, I mean, you're smart enough. You know everybody around you. You know everyone's approach. You can tell when they're going to take their first step, right? I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to figure it out.
And not calling anyone out by name, but I will call because I like Justin. But I'm going to call. I'm going to call out Corkum because sometimes you never know if he's going to take 38 swings or 15 swings of the arm, or sometimes he only takes 9.
It depends on the difficulty of the shot, I think.
Yes.
And which ball it is.
Yeah, but if I'm next to him and he's just lining up, I'm going. If he's on swing 3, 4, I'm gone.
Yeah. And I do like Justin. It's just it cracks me up. I just so our next show is going to be delayed.
Oh.
Because January, unless you guys want to do it without me, which I have said on multiple occasions over the last X amount of years, feel free to do this show. You don't need me to do it. You all have the logins to everything.
You know how long ago I lost those?
Okay, I will resend them to everyone.
It's all good.
January 6th would be our next show, but I will be somewhere in the Caribbean because it's going to be warm, and I'll be somewhere around Jamaica.
We can't do that to everyone. Everyone looks forward to this show and hearing the sound of
No, they
voice.
don't. No, they do not.
You're the superstar, Tim.
At least there was no cat butthole on the screen this week. Thank you for that.
No, I was kind of upset that the cat didn't jump. Well, they're all 3 of them are all just sleeping on the other side of this. But
did you say January 6th?
No, we won't be doing it January 6th.
Okay, good.
Because I'll be in the Caribbean.
So it'll probably be the 13th.
So the 13th.
Alrighty.
Do you want to join, Mac?
Yeah, I'll come back.
Okay.
Doesn't just have to be about this, or I mean, I'm not inviting myself to be a new host of the show, but yeah, whatever you guys want.
Dude, we have tried. How many people have we tried to get a 4th host, guys?
We had one for a while, but
like 3 or 4.
And everyone turns us down. if you want to join on you don't have to join you don't have to join every time, but if you want to be on and you want to be a fourth member of the crew, dude, the offer's there for you.
Yeah, happy to jump in whenever I'm around on Mondays, which is most of them.
Okay. And again, I know when you're coming into tax season, it might be a little more difficult.
That's right. That'd be a break that I need.
It's only a Monday.
When your brain's mush, all you see is the matrix falling down the computer screen.
Yeah, you're going to hear me spit out a different language, but that's all right.
So I believe we can also have a live concert on this form too at some point.
You have to give it. I'll send you a song list. You can give me a request so I can polish it up.
Okay.
You can come on, and every Monday you can be our intro. So you work on an intro.
Matt could do our intro music.
Yeah.
A little ditty.
About Jack and Diane, they're just two American kids growing up in the heartland.
All right, it's time to end this, Tim. You're starting to sing.
Hey, yeah, but I can sing. There is that.
You can drive a car with your feet if you want to. It doesn't make it a great idea.
That's funny. We got some people calling for the intro music.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's funny.
All right.
Well,
So
hey, honored to be asked. I appreciate it. So I'll jump in as much as I can.
Cool. I mean, well, look, we'll add you to the group chat, and if you can join, great. Just like any night, there's nights that Calvin can't join or Brian can't join, and I think we obviously know that for some ungodly reason, I have to do this show every time because they won't do it without me because apparently they're scared. So
not scared, just don't want to do all the work.
Oh yeah, because it's it is. But anyway,
exactly.
Not scared, just lazy.
Yeah. So anyway, folks, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please send them to rippingtherackpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on X. Yeah, not really. Screw that. Can't find us there. I don't use it anymore. So for now, find us on Facebook
And YouTube.
Like and subscribe and all the good, happy stuff that comes with that. You can find Brian on Big Booty Brian at OnlyFans. He has started that back up again. So
it is the holiday season. I need money.
It's the holiday season, needs money. So, Brian, disclaimer, and where else can they hear this?
Well, folks, tonight's episode of Ripping the Rack was it featured the opinions of Brian, Mac, Tim, and Calvin. And again, if you don't like those opinions, this is an entertainment show. You can take those opinions and put them in your Christmas stocking and leave them for Santa.
Okay. I thought that was going a different direction.
I'm trying to be nice this week and not tell anybody to stick it up
you can polish
ungodly
it up.
place.
You can turn it sideways and you can shove it straight up.
It doesn't matter what you think. And you can hear us on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you listen to your podcast mediums.
Cool. Oh, by the way, we will be having Jenny Rowe and Steve Reno on hopefully sometime in January, and we will show the string and talk to Jenny about that fantastic feat of hers. The bowling, not her feet. I don't know anything about her.
Jesus. Okay.
Jesus, hit the end button.
Yeah. Good.
Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. What did you do that